Good evening, and here we are again on a Monday evening. Welcome to all. Hello, Polly Perkins, and I think you're the only person that I know that's actually said hello so far. So as we're waiting for a few people to settle down and join, I'll play something. This is what shall I start with? This is something called Georgia. Close. Hello, Oppo. Good day to you as well. Ah. There you go. That was called Georgia. Good evening, Skeeby and Jean. I'm glad you could join us. Wasn't sure if you'd be around this evening, so welcome indeed. We've still only got a few of us and waiting for a few more to say hello. So if you are signed in, don't forget, please say hello. Otherwise, I don't know that you're there. I've got a few requests, and there's going to be an early review of last week's quiz. Because nobody actually managed to get the correct 5 answers all in a row last week, and Rafiki was the nearest. So at the moment we haven't got Rafiki on board tonight. There's a few others that I'm waiting for, but we will be doing a review fairly early on. So in the meantime, I'm going to continue. Well, just to explain to 1 or 2 people that might be new to us. If you are new to this particular channel, I'm a bit old school. I play a lot of standards, but I do play some sort of 60s, 70s, 80s pop, and other things from musicals and things if I know them. Obviously, it depends whether I know how the thing goes. Otherwise, I can't really play anything. Good evening, Nick and the family. And good evening, Starshipper. I'm glad you're on board. I have a request to play for you. Jan and Jim, good evening to you as well. Well, you know, my little buzzbot's even chirped in because we've got a few people saying nice things or saying at least hello at the moment. I was going to play something else, but as Starshipper's with us, I have a request for you which dates from a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just making sure that I'm correct. You requested something called Mountains of the Moon. You gave me a couple, but this is, thank you. This is something, this is the only one that I managed to get hold of. So I hope I make a reasonable job of this for you. I've had to chart a bit of it out, of course, as you do, because otherwise I won't remember how it goes. So, good evening, Will. And Samoa, good evening to you. I'm glad to have you on board. I'm sorry, Samoa, I won't be able to do your request until next Monday, but I think you already know that. So, anyway, Starshipper, this is for you. This is called Mountains of the Moon. Close. There we go. Just for you, Starship. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Yes, it was written, and the version that I heard was actually Tom playing this from the keyboard player from the Grateful Dead, from a band from many years ago, and that was quite interesting. Good evening, Wold Top. I got it right first time. Look at that, Wold Top. Good evening to you, and thank you for joining me. I don't know whether we're likely to get Fabian to join us tonight, but I've had some comments and some communication from him recently. So we're hoping that sooner or later he may join us, and I have something that I can play for him. In the meantime, what have I got? Nick last week wanted a bit of Sinatra, and I think I played something but probably wasn't always the best. So I'm going to play this one, which is Come Fly With Me, and this is for Nick and family. Good evening. Thank you. That was, of course, Come Fly With Me. Now, is it Mel? Is it Mel? It's Mel. Well done, Mel. Thank you for joining me. Brilliant of you. I'm really happy. I'm really happy you managed to log in. And I've got to remember the number now and remember it's you. Well done, sir. Now then, I'm going to say at this stage, Nick, your comment, well caught. Just reminds me of a little story. I don't know if any of you know that I used to do quite a bit of work with Bernie Clifton, and he had this ostrich, as you probably remember, that he used to ride around on. And but one of his wonderful sketches on stage was he used to carry some oxygen under his cloak and do a desert song take off, and it was really funny. But part of the act was that at some point he would turn around and blow the music off the stand. Well, sometimes he always used to feed us with odd bits of music and things that wasn't really necessary, just bits of paper. So you could blow them off the stand and then put the music back on the stand to carry on, because it was in the middle of a number. And you could put the music back on the stage to carry on for him straight away. Well, this particular time, he thought I obviously knew the pad well enough by now, so he turned around and blew all the music off the stand. Well, we were sort of scrambling around trying to pick it up as you do, of course, and I put the music back on, the real music this time, of course, back on the stage to carry on the stand to carry on for him, and he immediately turned around and blew that all over the stage as well. So I had to do it all from memory from that point onwards. But a great man, a very funny act, and I thoroughly enjoyed working with him. So what should we do? What was that? It's a birthday. Thanks for your card. Oh, yes, indeed. Well done, Mel. Yes, it was a birthday. Is it this week or was it last week? I'm hoping it was last week, and I got the day right. But I don't really do birthdays. But well done, and thank you for thanking me. I'm going to continue with something called. What should we play? What about this? This is called On a Clear Day. On a clear day. Let's see. Yeah, okay. A B flat, a G flat, and an E flat walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "Sorry, we can't serve minors." Yeah, okay. Derek, good evening to you. I'm glad to have you on board. I have a request for you as well. Well, in fact, I've got two requests for you, Derek, so I'm going to get straight on. I'm going to warn everyone at this stage, we haven't yet got Rafiki on board tonight, and it's a pity because they were in the lead from last week's quiz, but I'm going to give you a quick resume of... yes. A quick resume of last week's quiz in a second so that we can get on and try and get an answer. In fact, I'm going to do that first. Excuse me, Derek. I'm going to play your request straight after this, but I'm going to do this is a review of last week's quiz. And the reason I'm doing this is nobody has yet got the answer. Now, just to remind everyone, it's only for pride, so there's no prizes as such except the pride of winning and getting the first person to put the correct 5 answers in the correct order, all in one comment. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, all correct, all in one comment in the chat. Rafiki was actually leading this with 4 correct out of the 5, but I haven't mentioned which ones were correct and which ones weren't. So this is a quick resume. This was number 1. This is the first 3 notes of something. What is the name of this song? Don't tell me the individual answers, please. Save them up and put them all in one comment, all 5. Here we go. This is number 1. And in fact, I qualified it by playing that in front of it, just in case. That was number 1. What was that tune? Which TV series? This is number 2. Which TV series? Yes, it probably should. So this is number 2. Which TV series was this? Which TV series was this the? Was this the theme tune to? Some people seem to have a fixation on the fact that it was going to be something it isn't. But this is the theme tune. I'm going to very quickly do a resume on this. It's going to be, this is the beginning of it. And I won't go through that bit, but then it went into the middle 8, which was this. Or the latter part of it, okay? So that was number 2. So you now have 1 and 2. Don't forget, they've all got to go in the same comment. Number 3 was... who covered this 1960s hit in 1989? Okay, who covered that in 1989? And number 4 was, which musical did this song come from? I don't want the name of the song, I want the name of which musical it came from. Okay, and then number 5 was who wrote and recorded this in the 60s? etc. Okay, so that was all 5, and if you can have a bash at getting all 5 in the correct order, then we should be all set to try and get a winner maybe as soon as possible. So I'll leave you to think on that, but in the meantime, Derek, you requested something that I hadn't heard of. I'm really surprised I hadn't heard of this as a Jobim number. Hadn't come across it before, but I did have the music in a tiny little book, which I've blown up, and I had to be careful I didn't blow the piano up at the same time. No, I've blown it up so that I can actually attempt to read it for you. So this is something called, well, it was Chega de Sodad, but actually in English, No More Blues. And thank you for that clarification last week. This is for you. Now, I'm really pleased that that you asked for that. Something that I found I didn't know about before, and I think it's rather a nice one. So thank you for that, requesting that last week. I have one other request for you, which is a Beatles number, which is called. Thanks, Derek. Cheers. I'm going to do this other one for you, which is a Beatles number called just as a refresher on this, Nick, because I'd like that. What's it called again? It's called in English "No More Blues" by Jobim, Spanish title is "Chega de Saudade." I think so. Something like that. Anyway, my Spanish has gone rusty. Yeah, No More Blues. Right, Derek, this is a Beatles number for you called I'll Follow the Sun from very early Beatles. Here we go. As near as I could get to it anyway, if I can. Sometimes you just don't really remember things very well, even if you've only played it about an hour ago. But I knew of it at the time, but I couldn't recall how it went until I had a little listen to it about an hour ago. Where should we go now? And the quiz. How are we doing with the quiz, folks? So last week's quiz, we've got no attempts to get all 5 in order. No attempts at all so far tonight. Thank you, Derek. Go on, somebody have a stab at this quiz. Even if you get 1 or 2 of them wrong, you can have a stab. See if you can remember what was said last week. Polly Perkins, I think you had 1 or 2 right, at least 1 or 2 right last week. See if you can put in a stab for the 5. All 5 in one answer. Number 1, number 2. Okay. Number 3. Who covered this in 1989? Okay. Number 4. Which musical was this from? And who recorded? Oh, where is it? Etc. Okay, in 1960s. Okay, there you go. All 5. Go on, have a stab. Okay, well, we need all 5. We do need all 5. Come on, somebody have a go. All 5 in the correct order. Right. In the meantime, I'm just going to play one more number. This is a Carole King number. It was part of the quiz a few weeks ago. Well, not this particular number wasn't, but the quiz was appertaining to which album a certain song was from, and it wasn't this song, but of course the album was Tapestry by Carole King. And this is another number off that album called It's Too Late. song by Carole King called It's Too Late. Yeah, come on, where are all your answers? You know, even if there's a few question marks in there, can we have a stab? I don't want to give you the answers straight away. It's just like giving up. It's giving up. You can't do that. Go on, have a stab. Have a stab. I've played it, little bits of it for you so far. We've got tonight's quiz to do yet. So I'm going to have to give you the answer in a moment. One last stab. Anybody? Right, we have a stab from Jan and Jim. Right, okay. Well, you have Jan and Jim. You have right. You have one, two. You have two right only, I'm afraid, Jan and Jim. And I seem to remember you had more right than that last week. But of course I didn't tell you which ones were right. Nick, you have one, two, you have three correct, Nick. And can I play all five again, please? Okay, very, very quickly. Very quickly. Okay, number one. This is the first three notes of a certain tune. What is it? Number two. Which TV series? It was a soap. And it was recorded. Which series was the theme? Was this the theme tune for? And it went on to go. Etc. All right. Number four. Which was the musical that this came from? Okay. And number five. Etc. Okay. Who recorded and composed that in the 60s? There you are. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes, and that's all. 2 more minutes. Because we're using all our time on the quiz. I'm going to play in the meantime La Vie en Rose. Okay, so it's definitely time I gave you the answer to last week's. I worked out 1, 3 and 5. Well, yes, but nobody has actually got all 5. So I have to say, Nick this week got 4 correct, and Misty was correct, the first. Of course, okay. Number 2 was the one that confused a lot of people. Now, Wild Top, if you're still with us, you did have a bit of a bash at this, and I could understand why you thought it was a Sinatra number and something that. No, Nick, you still got 4 out of 5, and this was the one that caused everybody a problem. You are correct, sir, and you had 4 out of 5. But I'm afraid, even going right back to last week, Rafiki had 4 out of 5 as well. So nobody's actually won it, and nobody got this one, which is number 2, and it did sound a bit like a Sinatra number, which is something that life's been good to me or something. It does sound a bit similar to that, which is why I emphasised what happened in the tune as it went on a bit. It did. And in fact, the first words were, "He used to bring me roses." And it was actually called "On the Inside." The tune is called "On the Inside," but it was from a long-running soap, and it went on to go. And that was, the answer to that was, it was the theme tune to Prisoner Cell Block H. There you are, put you out of your misery. And of course, we know that was originally a Brian Hyland hit in the 1960s. It's called "Sealed with a Kiss," and it was covered indeed by Jason Donovan. Well, there you are. You see, I have to provide something that was a bit more of a trick, or a bit more tricky for some people. But it was a very long-running soap, Prisoner Cell Block H. Yes, number 3 was, the answer was Jason Donovan. Fish Gotta Swim, or it wasn't called that, it was Can't Help Loving That Man of Mine. Was indeed from Showboat. And the last one was, can't remember what the name of it was. What's the name? Oh, Blue Rondo a la Turk. But of course the answer was Dave Brubeck, which, right, well done, Polly Perkins. Excellent. But you were all around about it. You almost got it. So I'm going to go straight on with this week's quiz as we're on that subject. And here we go with this. So, straight into this week's quiz. Same rules, all 5 answers, please, in one comment. Now, this will drive you up the wall. So, I've done this to actually annoy some of you. Not that last week's did that, but only because I can be a little bit like that from time to time. But hello, there are a few in here that I'm sure most people will know very well. So, this is number 1. Don't forget, we want all 5. Number 1 is, this is the intro and a bit of a verse to something. Who recorded this? Who recorded this? Etc. All right. Who recorded that was number 1. Number 2. Now, I want the full title to this. Now, I give you a little bit of warning. Unless you're very careful and you get all 5 answers of this quiz right the first time, you might want to think about some other tactics for this. I want the full answer to the title of this next song. That's all you're getting. I want the full title. Number 3. What instrument was the person that recorded this famous for playing? Which instrument was the person who recorded this famous for playing? Okay, etc. And number 4. Which musical was this from? This is a very old, well, very old by our standards. From an old musical, an old song from an old musical. Which musical was this from? Etc. And lastly, number 5. Now, apologies for those that haven't heard of this before, but you should have done if you haven't. But of course, not everybody has heard of everything. That's the whole point. We never know who knows what until you either give me the correct answer or you don't. This is number 5. I want to know what the title of this tune was from the very early 60s, I think. I'm not giving you any more, I just need the title of that tune. Okay, there you are. Quick resume. Number 1, who recorded this? Which duo recorded this? Oh, no, it's all right, that's just me. Oh, okay, we have a stab. We have 2 stabs. Okay, Wold Top was the first to have a stab, and you have 2 right. 2 correct only. Jan and Jim, you have very close. You have 4 out of 5. You have 4 out of 5. I'm not telling you which one's correct. Well, obviously with 4 out of 5, I'm not telling you which one isn't correct. So, just a quick resume again. That was number 1, okay. Number 2, etc. And number 3, what instrument was the person who recorded that famous for playing? Number 4, which musical was this from? etc. And number 5, I need all 5 answers correct in one comment. Okay, I'm sitting back. I'm not saying another word. There's some dodgy dealings going on. Oh, I think that was cheating a bit. That was cheating a bit. But okay, I'll let you off with it. You were the first to get there. I was really hoping you would have to type out again. Itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini loads of times, but I didn't catch you out. Jan and Jim, yes, I'll grant you did get all 5 right if you didn't have to retype all of them other than number 4, which is indeed 7 brides for 7 brothers. And well done, Skeeby, for giving that piece of information through. Derek, yes, I don't know whether you got it off your own bat or not, but you certainly are indeed correct, but unfortunately not quite the first to get there. Yeah, indeed. No, I know you can't type that quick. That was why I suggested that maybe 1 or 2 people might have to do a quick copy and paste job. But well done. All right. So well done, and Will, steady on. Right, okay. I'm going to know what. I don't know what Will's on. Well, I think somewhat you have unfortunately now been beaten to the post, as you will probably see. But well done for having a go. You were very close. It was Simon and Garfunkel, of course, number 1. Oklahoma, no, it wasn't. It was 7 Brides and 7 Brothers, and the last one was Dave Brubeck. But no, Jan and Jim, I know you wouldn't be that technical, but I thought it would drive a few people mad if they had to try to keep on typing. But well done, well done. I'm glad at least we got an answer to that before the end of the stream tonight. I typed so fast I must be being rude. Yeah, I know. It is probably that rude just to type that fast, just because you can. I'm going to carry on playing something very quickly. Don't forget this is a request spot. Would you? Yes, I realise. Would you like to ask me to play something that I'm likely to know? I hope so. I haven't seen any sign of Fabian tonight, so I'm going to save that one. And that was for somebody that hasn't joined us tonight. So anybody want to request something? In the meantime, I'm going to play something called Stardust. Sam and Janet. Oh, yes. Jan and Jim, you've requested Sam and Janet. Sam and Janet. So for those uninitiated, Some Enchanted Evening. Okay. Well, so let's see what we can do with that. Some Enchanted Evening. And I can't remember what I was going to say now. I was going to say something. But we've almost come to the end of our stream tonight. So I would like to say thank you for those who have joined me. Thank you for those who have recently followed my channel and put in some requests. And anybody that's donated, I'm very grateful to you. It's very much appreciated. Obviously, if there's anybody watching that would like to follow me and get some notifications of when I go live next, please follow my channel. Click on the old follow button and you'll get notification as to when I'm off. Just offer a cider. Well, I'm going to be joining you, but not quite with a cider. So thank you, Polly Perkins. Thanks everyone for joining me. Please share this stream. You can share this stream, you know. There's a share button somewhere in the corner of the video or whatever. If you wish to, tell a few other people about it. That would be lovely. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the nice comments, and I'll see you all, if not Saturday afternoon at 5, which is just me playing, but for the next request and quiz and music stream like this one, it's next Monday at 8.